Today we're doing a Q&A, so find out what questions you had. Stick around and let's get into it. Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome back to the Wholeness Shift. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. I talk about easy, practical spirituality. We get into everything on this channel. We talk about aliens and your spiritual awakening and meditation and you name it, we talk about it. So if this interests you, hit the subscribe button below and hit the little bell icon. I wouldn't want you to miss out on anything good. And if you're already part of the family, welcome back. You know I love you. All right, let's get into this. So lately I've gotten a few questions rolling into my comments and my emails and whatnot with some random Q&A questions. Personal stuff, not so personal stuff, all of it. So yesterday on Instagram, I sent out the call for you guys to send me whatever questions you have. And today I will be answering your questions. Number one, this is from James. And James says, as a gay guy, I'm really curious as to where spirit really stands on homosexuality. Perhaps you could do a video on this one maybe. Well, perhaps I will do a whole video on this topic at some point. But for today, let me just give you a quick little answer, okay? So the quick answer to that is spirit has no problem with homosexuality. The only people who tend to have issues with homosexuality tend to be extremist religious people. They have no issue with it. Love is love. Intention is everything. You are created to have the experience that your higher self wanted to have. Live your life with joy and know that you are loved. So question number 2 is from Blue Ray Indigo, cool name, and she wants to know, what is your life path, Veronica? What's my life path number? And the answer to that is I am a 1. I'm a life path 1, and if you Google life path 1, you can see that that really sums me up with my driven nature and my need for independence and all of those kind of things. So yeah, I'm a 1. Number 3, this person wants to know what happened to your ex-husband after you found out what he did to your daughter. Without going into it too much, because I don't want to get emotional and too in-depth, draw the mood down or anything like that, the short answer is this: he went to prison for a very long time. In the state of Ohio, if you harm a child under the age of 10, then you're eligible for life in prison. So during the trial, basically the prosecutors who were working with me came to me and they said, what do you want to see happen from this? And I said, I want him to go away for as long as he can possibly go away, because not only did he hurt my child, but he was very, very abusive. He was a cruel individual. And the reason I had stayed so long is because he had made it very clear that he would do harm to myself if I tried to leave. So I was trying to navigate those difficult waters. And so I just wanted him gone. I wanted him away from my children. I wanted him away from me. And so I had said to them, because my fear was if he goes away for life in prison, that it would be one of those crazy stories where they're out in 6 months due to overcrowding or something ridiculous. So I said, what is the absolute longest that he could go away with no eligibility for parole or anything else? And they said it's 9 years. And I said, that's what I want. So that's what we got. And he went to prison for 9 years. And he was placed on the sex offender list. He's still there to this day. He's labeled a sexual predator in the state of Ohio and everywhere. And yeah, He is a sexual predator on the sex offender list and an ex-convict. He's a felon because of what he did to my child. But my child is doing great, just so you know. She's grown and happy and married and thriving. She's doing wonderfully. Okay, number 4, I think. I lost count. I'm just going to start naming questions because I've already lost count, and I think we're only like 4 in, so, or is it 5? See, we just need to carry on. And so the next question is, someone wants to know, what is that painting next to your front door? And I will stick some footage in here with a closer up picture of it. And the short answer is that it's a painting I made myself. And when I lived in my last house, if you are a longtime subscriber, then you know that for a short period of time, actually less than a year, like 10 months, I had purchased an old home, a 130-year-old home that I had planned to renovate. It was a fixer-upper. It was amazing. I still love this house. It's very bittersweet, and I can get a little emotional when I'm thinking about it. And I only lived there for 10 months because Fred and I had been buying it together, and then something tragic happened. We ended up going our separate ways, and I bought this house on my own. So anyways, in that house, it had a staircase. You go up from the entryway, and then it turns and goes up even further. And there's like a little landing at the top of the stairs before it turns, and there's a wall there that when you came down the stairs, you had this blank wall you were looking at, and I needed something kind of tall and thin to go there. And I didn't have anything. And so as I'm prone to do before buying something, I tend to look around to see what I can upcycle or reuse in that spot. And I knew that I had a poster frame, like a frame that you put posters in. I had a poster frame that would fit perfectly there, but I had nothing to go in it. And so I had seen these paintings on Pinterest, and I thought they were charming. I thought they were really cool. And so I found a piece of craft paper, brown craft paper. It was actually a piece of packing paper that came in a package in a box, like from Amazon or something. It was a piece of brown packing paper that was in a box from something I had ordered. And so I just opened it and I smoothed it all out, and I liked the character that the wrinkles in the paper gave to it. It added texture. So I just left it kind of wrinkly, cut it to size, and then at the time that area was blue. It had blue carpet, blue wallpaper, and I was going to redo all that, but for the time being I needed something blue so it didn't clash. So I took a paper plate and I squirted several different shades of blue on it. So then I took a potato and I cut it in half and in half again. So I had this little quarter of a piece of potato, and I dipped it in the paint, and then I just kind of sponge painted shapes on the paper with the potato. And I love it. And I tend to be fickle, so I'm not saying my taste will never change, but for the time being, I love my potato painting, and I think it looks great. So there's the answer to your question. Should I go into business and start selling them on Etsy? Next question. Ever since I became spiritually awoke, I get sentimental a lot. My empathy got 5 times amplified. How? Is this normal? Yeah, that's totally normal. That's one of the signs of spiritual awakening, is that you tend to develop this compassion that you never had and this empathy, and that is because your heart is starting to open. Your heart chakra is opening. And that is the number one way that we communicate with the divine, do the divine's work. Everything starts with the heart. And when you start to spiritually awake, that heart chakra begins to open. And so you start to feel the connectedness between yourself and every other thing, every other person, every other animal, every other plant and tree and everything. We are all one. We are everything. And when you spiritually awaken, you start to remember that and to get more in touch with that. And so your empathy and your compassion just go all the way up through the roof. Next question. Same person, actually. Is it possible to connect to plants? When I talk to a tree, I can sense the leaves react, or am I weird? No, you're not weird. Trees and plants, they're all living, breathing things. Go on Google and do some research on like effects of saying kind words to plants, things like that. And you'll see that like plants that you say negative things to will like wilt and die, and plants that you say positive things to or tell them they're beautiful, things like that, they know. And if you guys have been on TikTok, I tried to recreate it so that I could show you guys, but it's so windy outside right now that I can't. So maybe I will when it's not so windy, but right now I can't. Anyways, on TikTok right now, there's a trend going around, like, I don't know what it's called, the tree trend or something like that. But you stand in front of a tree somewhere where a branch is somewhere near you. And you just start talking to the tree, and you ask the tree, hey, if you can hear me, will you please touch my shoulder? And in every single one of the videos, I mean, you could see there's no one else around manipulating it, but the tree branch will slowly come down and like touch their shoulder and then go back up. And it's like, thank you. So yeah, they can absolutely hear you. They have a consciousness. They communicate with each other. They communicate with you. They're very loving and grounding. You're not weird. You're not crazy. Well, the rest of the world might think we're both weird. And we're both crazy, but we're not. Like, we get it. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. And if you've watched any of my vlogs or anything like that, you know that first thing in the morning, that's what I do. I get up and I go say good morning to all my plants and my flowers. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, next question. This is from Kay Lizzie. How do you balance knowing there is so much more than this life with capitalism and work? Well, I would say that is a lot to unpack in that little question, my friend. That is a lot to unpack. As you become more spiritual awake, you do realize that, wow, there's so much more, and like none of this stuff matters. The part that's tricky is that when you're very newly awakened, like you're a brand new spiritual baby, and you tend to be quite immature and ungrounded in your spirituality, it's easy to fall into this trap of like shunning everything. Like, I don't want to be a part of the matrix. I need to be more spiritual than that. I don't own material things. I just sit with my hair in a bun in my little yoga pants in the middle of Sedona and meditate 24 hours a day. And like, I don't eat anything that is not purely organic and vegan. As a matter of fact, I don't even eat food at all. That's too much a part of the 3D matrix. I exist on the most purified, cleansed, crystal charged water only. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very ungrounded, immature, spiritual part. The bottom line is that we are all here to have a human existence. And while you don't want to get caught up in only the materialistic things and only capitalism and only the 3D, you, as my pastor used to say, and I'm by no means like preaching or having anything to do with the church, because that ain't me, but my pastor used to say, you need to be able to keep your feet on the ground and your head in the stars. You know, he used to say, don't get so heaven bound with your thoughts that you're of no earthly good. And so anyways, that you need to grow spiritually. You need to realize that really this is all just stuff. It's replaceable. At the end of the day, if it went away, we'd be okay. However, If while we're here having this human experience, we might as well enjoy it. Have some fun. Buy the nice clothes, wear the nice outfit, buy a new lipstick if it makes your day. You know what I'm saying? Don't go into debt or get yourself into trouble doing those things, but like enjoy your life. Take that trip. Buy that new comfy pair of pajamas you're looking for. Have fun with it. Just stay in balance. That's the key to everything in this life. Balance. Not too far this way or this way. Balance. Come back to center. Okay, this next one is from MV Morio. How do you hear your spirit guides? I need guidance to hear mine. Well, practice makes perfect. Not everyone is going to be able to hear them. Clarify that everyone can hear their guides in different ways. And if you don't know what I mean, I will link below to a video I made a few years ago on how to communicate with your spirit guides. That would help you. You can look for different ways that they send you messages and things like that. But as far as actually hearing them, not everyone has the gift of clairaudience, clear hearing. Myself, I didn't realize I had it. Looking back on my life, I can realize that there were times where I did have that, but I didn't know what I was experiencing. Because it's not, for me and most people, it's not some outside voice like you hear a person in the room and you hear it with your ears. I've only had that experience 2 times. All the rest of the times, it's an inside voice. And I talk in that video about how to distinguish between your guide's voice and your voice, how to tell the difference. Okay, so now I know how to recognize when it's my guides. I also know how to recognize when my intuition is telling me something. I also am clairsentient. I can feel the energy in my body. And so we have keywords, if you will. We have signals, like I know what yes feels like. I know what no feels like. I know what someone's lying to me feels like my guides will give me a sign. I know what this person is trustworthy, you can trust them, feels like. They make my third eye tingle, things like that. So it takes a lot of time and practice. Ask your guides to teach you. First and foremost, you're going to have to meditate every single day if you're not already doing it. That's the key to opening up those chakras, raising your vibrations high enough to actually get these spiritual gifts coming online. But once they do, even after my vibes were high, I didn't know. Like when I would use my pendulum, my guide would be like, I'd say, I wish I could hear you. And he'd say, you can. And I'd be like, no, I can't. And he'd be like, yes, you can. And so he actually gave me a few dreams where he was very specifically working with me on this. And like, he would say, in the dream, he would say something and I'd hear it in my head. And he'd say, you just heard me. And I'll be like, do it again. And he'd do it again. And I would hear the thought, but it would sound like me. And I'd be like, that was you? And he's like, yes. So then in the dream from that point on, we started practicing. And like he would only talk to me in here. And I learned how to recognize when it was an outside thought coming to me versus my own thought. So practice makes perfect. Next, how can past life regressions help in your spiritual journey? How will I know if I need it? Well, you'll know if you need it because you're really drawn to it. You really feel drawn to getting one. It keeps being presented to you. You know, these synchronicities keep happening and it keeps showing up and you just feel really drawn to getting it done. If you feel drawn to it, then you should probably do it. Now, there are different kinds of past life regression. Some are valid, some are not. Some I would trust, some I would not. So that's hard to figure out which ones are which, honestly. I was hesitant to get one for a very long time until I did some research on YouTube to find other people who had videos who had a past life regression and it was successful for them. And then I found out who that person had used, and I went to that person because they seemed trustworthy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, a couple of years ago, I filmed a video of the past life regression I did, and I put on my channel. It was very long, very vulnerable, very powerful. So I will link to that below as well. But I would say that if you do go have a past life regression, I'm not saying these are never valid, but I'm saying be careful. I would completely steer clear of anyone who claims to do the regression and tell you what they see. Like, they say they're going to look at your past lives and regress back to your past lives, and then they're going to tell you what they see for you. Like I said, I'm not saying those are never valid, because I'm sure that they are. But those, I think, are way more susceptible to manipulation and to people taking advantage of you. But as far as how can it help you, it can help you recognize issues that are happening now. You know, if you have a certain fear of something, or you have had a certain issue, you can go back to the source of wherever that came from, whether it's in this life or another. It might give you insight into relationship dynamics you have with another person or a family member. You know, maybe those issues stem from a whole other lifetime. Anyways, it can give you insight into the life that you're having right now and help you to make progress in areas where maybe you were stuck. So yeah, it can be beneficial, and you know that you need one. If you can't find your answers anywhere else, it's worth taking a look, or if you feel really drawn to having one done. Okay, the next one says, how do you keep your vibration high when you feel fear, anxiety, and sadness about the world? We are not going to cry today. Now, if you know, you know. If you saw my last video that I posted about the Roe v. Wade situation, you know that I have had a time. Now, normally, I have to limit how much I go down the rabbit hole, because it's easy for me to do. It's easy for me to snap back into that indigo warrior, this is not okay, this needs to change attitude, and to step into that. And while I am here for that, that's one of the reasons I'm here. I am an indigo child. I am here to help change this world and to usher in something better. And sometimes that means getting really pissed off and like tearing it all down, setting it all on fire in order to make something better. It's not healthy to live in that state all the time. Balance. That's what we just talked about. And so, like, I had just sent Fred a video. Basically, it was a mom and a daughter protesting. It was a 13-year-old little girl using a megaphone, and the cops arrested this baby girl. And the mom is behind her walking to the cop car going, it's okay, you were fighting for what you believe in. Mommy's right behind you. Ugh. So anyways, balance. Anyways, okay, so what I was saying about that story, sorry, ADHD moment. I had sent that video to Fred with a little mini rant, like, my God, my heart. And then a few minutes later, I was filming this, and he just called me. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm filming. And he's like, all right, I hadn't heard back from you for a little while, so I just wanted to make sure that you weren't going too far down the rabbit hole, because I don't want you to ruin your day. And I'm like, well, thank you for checking on me, because, girl, it can be hard to stay and maintain that balance, even when you are an awakened person. I'm spiritually awakened, and I know it's actually kind of exciting at the same time as it's miserable, because it's like having a surgery that where you finally got answers and now you get to have surgery. Like, this is miserable. Who wants to have surgery and go through recovery? But it's going to lead to good stuff. It's going to lead to healing. So it's a productive pain. And it's the same thing with the situation in the world right now. This is all part of cutting open the wound, debriding all of the nasty stuff in there, lancing that boil and getting all the disgusting stuff out. All of the racism and the homophobia and the misogyny and the patriarchy that's infected everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, getting all of that stuff out there, cleaning out that abscessed wound that is society right now, so that the wound can heal properly, so that we can ascend. You have to get rid of the old stuff before you can usher in the new stuff fully. And so this is a necessary pain that will bring healing to our world, but it's a process. And it's hard to not get consumed by that if you allow it. So what you have to do is you have to certainly vote, protest, let your voice be heard. You can't just completely check out. Completely checking out goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video about being kind of immature and ungrounded and being like, that's all so part of the matrix. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm just going to sit over here and drink my smoothie and eat my avocado toast and meditate all day. Well, girl, I like smoothies and I like avocado toast and I want to meditate too, but like, change needs ushered in. So you have to find that balance where you remain grounded. You don't let it consume you. You don't let it disrupt your life, affect your health, that kind of thing. Recognize when you're out of balance. But that doesn't mean that if you feel called to protest, you feel called to speak on something, you should. And then your question of how do you keep your vibrations higher during this? Well, you know, I actually plan to make a video in the next couple of weeks on this topic, so I don't want to go too in depth on it. But the premise of the video is going to be most of what we call self-care is really aftercare. We wait until things get so bad that we're fried and sizzling and burned out. And then we're trying to like take a bath to make it better. And it doesn't quite work that way. What we need to do, and that's why people hate the term self-care, because it really doesn't do a whole lot. Because what we need to do is not just do the aftercare. Aftercare is important, but we need to be working on the foreplay too. We need to be working, we need to be pre-gaming. We need to be taking care of our vibrations on an every single day level and doing the self-care on an everyday basis in order to keep those vibrations higher. You can be out there making change. You can be calling senators, congressmen. You can be doing all of these things. You can be protesting. You can be watching the news. You can be watching the January 6th hearings. You can be doing all of these things and still meditating every day and still getting enough sleep and still eating right and still staying hydrated and still finding time to laugh and to play. You can't just go down the rabbit hole of being angry and hurt. Balance. Next question. My twin flame doesn't want to heal. He's very toxic. I feel broken. Should I block him? First of all, if you haven't seen the video that I made on twin flames where I explain all of this, I will link to that below. Please go watch it. Second of all, no one can tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to do. I would be completely out of line and inappropriate if I told you what to do. Okay? However, you're asking my opinion just from the little snippet here. What is happening? So much hair. Just from the little snippet that I got right here, probably you should block him. Probably. If you've seen that video or you really know anything about twin flames, you know that you're not going to end up together. That is not what twin flames are about. You are about activating each other to this massive growth and then going your separate ways to work on your growth. You cannot and will not be together. And anybody who teaches otherwise, red flag. Okay? People that are on this twin flame journey and we're going to, I just got together with my twin flame. We're going to live happily ever after. He's either not really your twin flame or you're not going to end up happily ever after. Now, twin flames, you may come back together for a moment, but you will go away again. If they're your real twin flame, you will not be together. And it's too intense or it's too toxic. It depends on where people are in their stages of growth and development and awakening. You could either just have more growth to do or more things to work on, or you could be one or both of you could be really, 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 really toxic. So if he's toxic, walk away, block. Let him be toxic on his own. And that goes for any relationship. Okay? Toxic people should not be dated. They should be not even looked at. But anyways, so yes, in general, hard and fast rule, if someone is toxic, cut them off. Let them go be toxic. They can either heal themselves, and then we'll see what happens when they are ready, or they're not going to do the work and they can just go be toxic on their own. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm so ready to cut my hair. Dear Lord, I'm so ready to cut my hair. It's just always so much hair. The other day I had my hair up in a clip, and my granddaughter Vera, she's only 3 and she's so cute, and the way she talks, so cute. But anyway, she's like, Mimi, want to play beauty shop? Let me do your hair. And I'm like, yeah, you want to do my hair? She's like, yes, because I don't like that. She did not like that my hair was in a clip. Oh, that was so funny. Oh, this is nice. This is not a question, but I want to thank you for your content. Thanks. I appreciate you. Next, Michelle wants to know, what does higher self mean exactly? Okay, well, this is an easy one. Yay, an easy one. Aww. Okay, so your higher self is your soul, what most people call your soul. And think of it like an umbrella. Your higher self is like an umbrella, and all the little spokes underneath of the umbrella are the different lifetimes it chooses to have all of the experiences, to work out the karma. It can choose to be this person or that man or this woman. I've in other videos I've also described it like a wagon wheel, like the wheel on a wagon. There's a hub in the center that would be your higher self, and there are all of these lifetimes coming off of it. So your higher self can also be called your soul. Okay, so Sarah says, my pendulum keeps saying that I'm going to marry a rock star and it drives me nuts. Is it a trickster? Question mark. Probably, yeah. I mean, unless you know a rock star and like there's a vibe there, I would say probably a trickster, hun. Make sure your vibes are sky high. Try again. Okay, next. What is the best and not so best thing about being spiritually awake? That was hard to say. Let me do it again. What is the best and not so best thing about being spiritually awake? Best thing. You feel better. You're happier. You're more joyful. You're more peaceful. You're more patient. You sleep better. You have more compassion and empathy. You have a larger capacity for love, to receive and to give love. Your spiritual gifts begin to come online usually, and it's just this whole other world. You realize all of these different facets of your being and your personality and of the world around us, and you're awake to so much more information and to a whole new purpose. Not so great is that in order to ascend and to get to these higher places, you usually have to do a lot of shadow work, a lot of therapy, a lot of digging into old traumas and things that are holding you back or keeping any kind of dysfunction or toxicity in your life. That's not so fun. The fact that you lose a lot of people from your life is not so fun. That's actually something I was just thinking about earlier today. I was thinking about how, like, people who used to be my very best friends, like for the last 25, 30 years, best friends, are just gone. Not all of them, but most of them. And my cousin, who was like my sister, and just gone. 99.9% of my family members I don't talk to anymore. Not because anything bad has happened or anything nasty, they've just drifted away. Or that tends to happen when you're spiritually awakened, because you tend to, the law of attraction states that you attract what you are. You're going to attract the jobs, the finances, the relationships, the friendships, the whatever, the circumstances into your life that are a frequency match with yours. So if your whole life you've vibrated here, and so has all the people around you, and then you start going up in your frequency, these people naturally just fall away from your existence. And that doesn't mean new people won't replace them, but like, that's painful, and it can really hurt your feelings. You just have to remember why it's happening and try not to take it personally. Rachel wants to know, does Eddie like me? Girl. The real question, Rachel, honey, is, do you like Eddie? I was just having this conversation with my daughter recently. She broke up with her boyfriend again. I can't say that I'm sad about it. I'm sad that she's hurting, but like, good riddance, sir. You are no good for her. Anyways, I said, she was talking about, the chain of like no good boys that she's had. And I said, a major life lesson that you have to learn, and that all people have to learn, you need to stop bending your personality to fit someone else's puzzle, to create this perfect puzzle piece to fit their puzzle. You have to stop thinking, does he like me? Could he like me? How can I make him like me better? And you need to start knowing yourself, knowing these are my likes and dislikes, these are my hobbies, these are the things I like to eat, the movies I like to watch, the travel I like to do, etc. And you need to find someone who fits that. Instead of saying, do they like me? I could say, do I like them? Could I like them? Could they fit my life? Because you shouldn't bend yourself to fit someone else's life, and they shouldn't bend to fit your life. You should just fit. So, girlfriend, I don't know if Eddie likes you. Time will tell, won't it? Okay, next question. How was your day, dear? Aw, you're sweet. And the next one is, how are you, beautiful? Aw, you guys are awesome. Thank you. My day has been really good. I've had a good day. And today's Saturday, July 9th, I believe is the date. And this morning, Fred came and picked me up so that he could run me to return an Amazon package at the UPS store. It seems to be my most popular outing these days. And then we swung by CVS to pick up a prescription. And, then one of his friends, she's this older lady that he used to work with. Her name is Deb, and she was having a yard sale. And y'all know how I love a garage sale, so we stopped by to see if there was anything interesting, and I didn't find anything, but he did. He found 3 things that he liked. And so then on the way home, we stopped by Dairy Queen. And we stopped by Dairy Queen, and we both got cheeseburgers and onion rings and strawberry cheesecake blizzards. So then we came home, we watched some YouTube, and while we ate, he helped me to hang up my handrail by the stairs. I'll put some pictures in because I did the first one on my own. I mean, and it's not hard to do. You could do it on your own. It's just when something's so long and it's hard to navigate by yourself, like to keep everything in line, and then it has they're metal, and it has these self-tapping screws that you have to, so like to hold everything in place with the bracket and like put enough pressure to get these screws to tap into the metal. It was difficult to do by myself, and I just did the short one going downstairs. So for the longer one that was going upstairs, I was like, would you mind just helping me? So before he left, we did that, and then I filmed a video, and we will see what the rest of the day holds. I mean, it's already, wow, it got late. It's 5:30, so I'm not sure that I'm going to get this out to you this evening. Maybe, but if not, it'll be out tomorrow. And my friend Kathy brought me some yummy spinach and cheese, like pastry things. Oh, they're so stinking good. I had initially sent her the recipe on TikTok, and she's like, ooh, I need to make these. And then she dropped some off for me. So I've only had one so far, and they were delish. So I can imagine I'm going to dig more into those. You know, I have big life plans for today. Most people are like, Saturday, let's party. And I'm like, spinach tart, bitches. The other reason it's a good day is because my wildflowers are blooming. They're not totally bloomed yet, but come on. So if you remember, oh no, my plants all blew over. Hang on, crisis. Oh, that must mean they need watered if they're that light. Oh goodness. All right, sorry ladies. All right, anyways, if you remember, maybe 6 weeks or so ago, in a vlog, I talked about how I planted wildflowers next to my house, right? Look, they're starting to bloom. Aren't they beautiful? What the heck is on my house? What is that? What is that? It's like some kind of a hybrid between a grasshopper. What in the world? Is it a spider? I don't even know what that is. Okay, well, I don't want to find out. Let's go back to the flowers. Look. And we're starting to get some like red and white and yellow, orange, pinks and purples. So pretty. Okay, what's next? My body starts spinning and whirling spontaneously. I'm scared. What should I do? Well, it sounds to me like you're having some spontaneous kriyas. And if you don't know what those are, I will link to a video that I did about 1.5 years ago on those. And if that's what they are, then it's just a matter of your vibes are raising. This might be part of your Kundalini awakening. It's about releasing the energy in your body. So go watch that video. It'll give you more information. Okay, next, Amy wants to know, is your necklace from Alchemy by LA? And if so, which one did you get? Yes. And if you don't know what that is, there's another creator named Leor Alexandra, and she has a jewelry line called Alchemy by LA. You can Google it, or if I remember to, I will grab the link and stick it in the description box. And yes, this amulet is from that collection. This is actually the second one I've gotten. I got my first one a few years ago, and I got the goddess one. And there's a quiz if you don't want to just go pick your own. There's a quiz that you can take, and then it will suggest one to you. So I did that both times. And like the first time I got the goddess one and I loved it. And then after a while, it just started to feel not right. I don't know. I kept wanting to take it off. And like, I'm a necklace person. I rarely, if ever, wear any other jewelry. The holes for where earrings go, my pierced ears have grown shut. I used to love wearing hoops and different things, but my ears are so intensely sensitive that unless I get like super expensive gold earrings, my ears just hurt. They get so painful with any kind of earrings, and they have a reaction. So I just let my ears grow shut. But I have a necklace on 24 hours a day. And I will find a necklace that I like. I usually like something small, gold or diamond, and simple that I can wear with everything. And then I leave it on 24/7. I sleep with it. I shower with it. I'll wear it for a year or two, and till I feel drawn to something else. And then I'll change it and wear that one indefinitely. So anyways, that last necklace just started to not feel right. I kept wanting to take it off, and I just felt like energetically like it didn't feel good to me anymore. And so I kind of wish I had it back now, but I took it off, and immediately my daughter Amelia was like, "Ooh, can I wear it?" She ends up with all of my stuff. So I was like, "Yeah, honey, here you go." So I put a different one on for a while, and then recently, I would say in the last 6 months maybe, I just started being drawn to those again. I wanted another one. And so I went back to her website, and I don't get the big expensive ones. I get the, low spendier. So I did buy it, but I bought the less expensive one, like the gold plated and not like the gold. Anyways, I took the quiz again, and this time I got, I think it's called Balance. Let me look it up. Please hold. Yes, it's called the Balancing Amulet. It says, promotes positive energy, diffuses negative energy, encourages peace of mind and tranquility, balances stress, frustration, aggression, fear, acute apprehension, and outbursts of anger, neutralizes anger and hatred, neutralizes pressure and emotional stress, helps get rid of sadness, depression, hatred, fear, and misery, balances emotional energy and the auras around the body. Fitting. So I will say that that's pretty spot on. For the phases that I was in, like both times I took that quiz, it was pretty accurate. And so I ordered it, and here we are. Hatred is a strong word, but I was definitely dealing with issues of being out of balance, and some dark, toxic things, with all the things going on in the world, with the political climate, with the Supreme Court decision, with me still trying to heal from this heartbreak and this betrayal that I went through. And like, I've had a time in the last few years. But this leads me into this next question, which is, Amy wants to know also, where have you been? Girl, where you been? And the answer is, I needed some time. I still feel like I need some time, but I don't want to be away too long because I love you all and I miss you. I'm grateful for you all, and you show up for me and I want to show up for you, but I did need some time. One, I found myself getting very, very burned out. So I'm burning the candle at both ends all the time. I'm a lone soldier here in this venture, and so I'm working full time during the days, Monday through Friday. I've been babysitting my granddaughters a couple of days a week for a few hours, and that's normally some of the time I would be filming. And then I'm working on all of this, and before it used to be exciting for me and joyful, and lately I feel like I could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I would never reach a finish line. There's just always, it's like a never-ending well of work that needs done and things that need done, and like as soon as you think you've made any progress, it's just time to start the next part. And normally that's not an issue for me. We've already talked about how I'm a life path 1. I'm very independent. I'm very driven. I'm a Capricorn. Like, that typically doesn't bother me. But when I can tell that I'm getting burned out and like I need to take a step away for a few minutes is when that stops being pleasurable to me. And I start feeling claustrophobic, and I start feeling like it's heavy. You can tell when you're in alignment, in divine alignment, because there's an ease. You're in the flow, and the flow just carries you, and there's an ease to everything. And I felt like there wasn't an ease. I would think about it and go, you know what I'm saying? So I needed to take a step away. The second part of that is basically I needed a vacation. I just needed to step away for a few minutes. Now, the second part of that is, I referenced to this in my last video. It was a very heavy and emotional video, but I wanted you guys to to hear about it is one thing, to read about it is one thing, but to physically see it with your own eyes and to experience it with me is different. It hits different. I wanted to give you guys an inside window into where my heart and my head were for the last couple of weeks, because I was like this divine feminine was just channeling through me, and it was like this divine anger, this righteous indignation and this righteous anger, and the divine feminine and the collective feminine was just channeling, and there was so much grief and sorrow and anger, and I was not in the mindset or the anyways, that's heavy, and I didn't want that to be vomiting all over your TV screen more than once. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to process that and to allow that little cycle that I was in and what was channeling through me. Like, I needed that to see itself through without burdening you guys with that, if that makes sense. So that's really where I've been. I needed a little bit of a break, a little bit of a refresher, enjoy my summer a little bit without going so hard on burning the candle at both ends. And I needed to process that stuff. So that's where I've been. I plan to be back now. For the time being, I probably won't be doing both vlogging and regular videos. You know, that's been, I've been kind of putting that on hold for the past few months just because it was too much for this season. But probably more towards the fall when there's not so much to do outside and whatnot. Yeah, I'll probably be back to that. But for now, I'm going to try to get a video out every week, and we're going to see what we can do. But just know that I'm never very far away. I'm always available if you want to reach out to me. I still always post on my Instagram and whatnot, so you can always head over there and check me out. I don't post anything heavy over there, really. I just post a bunch of memes and stuff, but I'm still there. I will try to be getting back into the swing of things now. Stick by me. Don't give up on me. All right, we have 2 more questions. Hannah wants to know, how do you get rid of an unwanted spirit? Oh, girl, that's a big question. There's a lot of different options there. You can smudge, you can sage, you can ask Archangel Michael for help protecting your home. You know, I often ask him to help me raise the vibrations within my home and clear out any negative or malicious energy or anything that's not serving me for my greatest good. You can surround your home with salt, because, you know, salt kind of gets rid of negative energies. I have a video on making salt bowls. I will try to remember to link to that below. If not, you can go look for it. But you can set salt bowls around your home to kind of soak up the negative energy. You can use a Seder Rhodes square, which I also have a video on that I will link to, and you can set those around where you're having issues. Or you can move. Just kidding. Oh, God. Okay, so I actually have my friend Kathy that I talk about often on here. She and her husband had a big, beautiful, beautiful home. Beautiful, expensive home. And it was just chock full of all kinds of nastiness. And I had tried to help them cleanse it. They had done their due diligence to try to get this thing cleansed. And finally, they were just like, we're selling it. We're not doing this anymore. And they moved to a much smaller home that felt better. And they are much happier now. So I was kind of joking about that, but like kind of not. You can burn white candles. You can clear out a lot of clutter, declutter your home, rearrange the furniture, open the windows and let fresh energy blow through. Anytime the energy in your home gets stagnant and it's full of clutter and whatnot, then that just breeds negative energy. So there are so many things that you can do. But it all starts with basically telling it to hit the road. You're not welcome here. This is my home, and you're not welcome here. And then you have to raise your vibrations and the home's vibrations. Okay, last question, and this one is going to be so much fun. So Kim wants to know, what is your favorite song to raise your vibes with? Just one? I can't pick just one. There's so many. Okay. Yeah, there's so many. So first of all, it can be anything you're in the mood for. Anything that makes you smile or makes you want to dance, makes you want to shake your booty. Yes, that. The other day, what was I listening to? Oh, I was in the kitchen and I'm like, I'm in the mood to hear WAP. And so I started playing WAP by Cardi B, and I was in the kitchen just like twerking my behind off and like just moving, and it felt good, and that raised my vibes. It might be my number one go-to song, like just regular song, has always been I'm Every Woman, the Whitney Houston version, and every time, girl, yes. But if we're talking like spiritual songs, I love anything. I love the entire album, and I will listen to it on a loop if I'm looking to raise my vibes while grounding and calming myself. I will listen to the album by Leanne Rimes. It's called Chant, the Human and the Holy. And that album is just beautiful. She's such a beautiful human being. And like, if you haven't heard her podcast and everything, you should go check that out. She has also gone through a spiritual awakening, and she's just beautiful. And her music is beautiful. So yeah, she has an album called Chant, the Human and the Holy. And it's just a very calming, loving, peaceful album. And then my favorite song, spiritual song, to get my vibes up to is by a group called Chris and Teeb. And I'll put a screenshot up here. And I actually had my Alexa play this song every morning at 8 a.m. when I was starting work, because I'd be like, trying to wake up, and I'd come in and she would just start playing this song at 8 a.m. when I start work. And by the end, I'm like, yes, and it would just keep me going. Okay, so it's Wake Up by Chris and Teeb. And I actually reached out to them on Instagram and told them how much I loved them, told them they're part of my daily routine, and asked them if I could have their permission to ever share their song in my videos. And they were like, yes, girl, share as much as you want. We would be happy to have you share our song. So, yeah, maybe sometime I'll stick it in a video. Actually, let's do it now. I don't know how good it'll pick up, but I'll give you a little sample.
Feeling great. Feeling good. Feeling great. I wake up every day feeling good. 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 Everything is as it should be. 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 I wake up every day feeling good. I wake up every day feeling good. I wake up every day feeling good.
I wake up every day feeling good.
Everything is as it should be. 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 I wake up every day happy, healthy, well. Happy, healthy, well. Happy, healthy, well. Happy, happy. I wake up every day happy, healthy, well. Happy, healthy, well. Happy, healthy, well. I wake up every day feeling good. Every day feeling good. Every day feeling good. Every day feeling great. Yeah, every day.
Anyways, y'all get the point. I love that song. It really blesses me. And I'm grateful that there are artists out there who are sharing their heart and helping to awaken this world through music and helping to raise vibes. So go support Leanne Rhymes. Go support Chris and Teeb. If you have any songs, like spiritual songs, new age songs that are just a blessing to you, put them down below. Share with the rest of us so that we can enjoy them as well. Well, this was long, but awesome. It was good to hear what was on your minds and to help you out. I have a lot of videos in the works that I'm writing scripts for. Let's see, what am I working on? I'm working on the ego. I'm working on how wanting to appear spiritual is merely a shadow. I'm working on one about the pineal gland. I am working on another one about more alien dreams, because I've had a few alien dreams lately. And, oh my gosh, so much. One of you guys requested that I do one on soulmates. So that probably won't be in this next batch, but it's coming. It's on the list. And I don't know, just a lot of cool stuff. If you have any specific requests, stick them in the comment box. Send them to me in a message. You know how to get a hold of me. And what else? Yeah, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And go follow me over on Instagram so you can keep up with me. So I know I took a couple of weeks, and I'm grateful that you hang in there with me and that you love me so much. Anyways, I will talk to you soon. Until next time.